there, Cancer. Welcome to your October 2017 love reading. I want to thank the person who pointed out that I hadn't uploaded one for Cancer. I am sorry about that. I don't know exactly how that happened. I looked at some of my videos on my memory card. I don't see anything, but I have more than one memory card. I'm just going to do this over again. I think I missed it though. I think that's actually what happened. So for a private love reading where I use your natal chart for the love readings, please click on the link below. It takes you to RenaMoonAstrology.com, my website. I think that the natal chart is key in love readings because it's looking at patterns in your life. A lot of people, and even with predictions, I think it really points to what is happening in your love life, you know, in terms of transits. And sometimes things may seem like nothing is happening, and then all of a sudden you're getting all this stuff. And but the main thing to me is not predictive, but personal actualization. What you can do, because no one can guarantee that any transit is going to happen. No one. And you've seen famous psychics predict things publicly, and they didn't come to pass. That doesn't mean that they are frauds, but there's just too much potential for change, you know, in our futures. And that's great. I'm so glad to hear that, because I don't want something set in stone, because then it's just like everything becomes faded. Everything is just like, I'm doomed, you know, if I don't have the right outcome. So the more that you can step up to the plate and look at yourself, I think the greater the chances that you're going to choose a partner and attract a partner, even, that is more your type. And you may think your type is something other than what it really is. Okay, so I'm just kind of like shuffling and putting these in piles. Okay, this is very, very much associated with, well, that ends on a nice note. And you do have, how many major arcana cards here? 3 out of 7? Well, first of all, sometimes people ask me, oh, is this for single people? Because it seems like I'm always talking about married couples or people who are in relationships in general. And the answer to that is, it can be. I may not talk about it in the terms that you would, if you're single, that you would relate to, but you can always do so. You know, I only have so much time, and I guess I could do hour-long readings, but I'm not going to do that. But the thing that always strikes me is what I talk about. If you see in this particular reading, we have the Justice card as well as the Judgment card. When I see those two cards together, and I actually read that this is the case, is that there may be some legal decision. And so what kind of legal decision would be in a love reading? Obviously divorce. So let's work at this from the back. Let's look at the history of this situation. We have the 9 of Cups. This is like, this is too good to be true. This could be considered gluttony, though, whatever this is. So even though this is Cups, and this is one of those tricky cards, because Cups usually are on the emotional level, and they deal with water signs: Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. I wouldn't be surprised if this is Pisces because of the number 9. I don't want to get into all this esoteric or, you know, stretches of, you know, me making these connections. I've already been there and done that. But anyway, this person may seem too good to be true. Sometimes people present themselves that way, don't they? I have heard that sociopaths, really, they don't show their true face until after you're married, or they've isolated you from other people, or otherwise have got you hooked in. So I think a red flag, if anybody has dealt with these types of people in your future, is anyone who tries to act like they're so great. Now, some people you can inherently sense their goodness. They're gentle. They just have a way about them. But some people, it's almost like very outgoing of like, you know, aren't I great? You know, I'm being magnanimous. And really, it's just all show. And they show their true face eventually. And unfortunately, by then, you're like already in up to your eyeballs. But this can also be a card of financial success. I wish I had my book out here so I could read some of those words, those keywords. But whatever. I mean, the point is that even though it's a card that's supposed to be emotional, it does sometimes relate to physical abundance. And you could be feeling like a bit smug about it, like, haha, all of you thought that I wouldn't get this person, and look at me now, you know, look at me now. And again, that can be very illusory. It can be very temporary, and before you know it, you're like, oh man, oh wow. I thought this person was someone other than they are. Wow. Because I'm not even going to talk about the heart of the matter. I'm going to talk about this card. This is the current. This is a card of someone who has been cheated on, slandered, lied about, and narcissists. These people, if you leave them or if you even challenge them, sometimes they can, or you don't even have to do anything bad to them. They can drag your name through the mud behind your back. This is like a backstabbing card. Somebody who smiles to your face lies about you behind your back, or just criticizes you behind your back. Now, the other thing about this is a card of empty victory. So I would say this, and this is kind of a different twist on things. We have as the overall card the Six of Pentacles. Now, this could be just about fairness in material reciprocation, reciprocity, whatever, reciprocation. In other words, tit for tat, okay? You gave me this, I gave you that. I see this card in like divorce settlements, who gets what, you know? Now, there may be some people, some of you Cancers, who, for some reason, I don't know if it's because you were wronged by this person or because you just were using them, that this is the spiritual message, which is kind of karma. The chicken's coming home to roost, you know, cause and effect. Because if that card is the empty victory, you could win a case and lose the battle of life. You know, you might lose that, or lose the your higher self in the process. And you can't lose your higher self, but you know what I mean. Lose your soul, you know. Gain the world and lose your soul. So don't do that. Really, I'm probably not talking to a lot of you. I don't see that as something Cancer would do. But everyone has the potential of having a moon in Scorpio. That's what I should say. Now, everyone has the ability to be bitter. If let's say somebody did cheat on you, you may feel like you're justified in taking them to the cleaners, okay? And the Judgment card would be saying, what you sow, so shall you reap. And you might say, but that person reaping what they sowed. Why are you talking about me? I didn't do anything wrong. I was with this person. Whether or not you started anything, if you finish it on a negative note, that's not cool. Okay. The other thing I would say about all of this is you're like concerned about getting money and getting fairly treated about something. And you may, the interesting thing is that you don't even have, you have this as a challenge position, so there may be problems in this pursuit. Maybe you're asking for something that you don't deserve. I would say, here's an example. I don't know if this will resonate with anyone, but you're in a marriage, the person cheats on you, you seek a divorce, and you want alimony. You want spousal support for X amount of time. Now, you may have been married for 30 years, you may have been a housewife and raised the children, and you feel like you haven't been able to build up your career because you were taking care of the children and stuff like that, and you may reason it in your head. But the Judgment card may be saying that, just talking about it energetically, if you seek spousal support, you're still connected to that person energetically, because money is currency, it's energy. So, and that may be some Cancer's MO, is they want to have that engagement with that person, even if it's just in the form of them being paid. But if you really want to move on with your life, you might just say, well, you know, I made my choices, you made your choices, now this is where we're at. You don't owe me anything. This isn't 1934. I'm a grown-ass woman. I can take care of myself and whatever. And that keeps you independent and also allows you to move on more easily. But some people may not feel that way. Some people may feel like, I really sacrificed and I deserve to get what's coming to me. And as I say, there may be some holdup. That doesn't mean that you can't win a lawsuit or anything like that, but it may come at a later date. There may be some kind of stay in the suit, and you're not being able to, or whatever they call it. I think it's supposed to be a stay of execution, not a lull in the trial. The near future, the Ace of Swords, this is actually a good one for legal cases, I think, because this is the sword of truth. This is cutting through all the illusion and really creating a new life for yourself, success that comes from, it's not snatching it from the jaws of defeat, but it is coming from difficult circumstances that you're able to forge a path forward. But I think it could even portend a legal decision that goes in your favor. So maybe this is initially, and this is saying don't give up hope at all, because things are going to go your way. I don't know. Is there an Aquarius coming into the picture? Because this is the card as the outcome of Aquarius. But I just said don't give up hope. This is a card of hope restored, healing. So some of you may be saying right now, this is totally not what's going on in my life. You may be single and saying, what in the heck is happening? If you're single, if you're not getting divorced, what I would say is that whenever you feel like everything is going your way in a relationship, make sure that you're on equal footing with that person. That's really what the Six of Pentacles is all about. It's about, I am respected by this other person in the same way that I respect them. I'm not expecting to get treated better than I treat them, but I expect to get equal treatment. And it's also about sharing of resources. I'm not going to support them. I mean, there are times when financially supporting a spouse or a partner makes total sense, and it's always the personal business of the two parties. But if you're looking for, if you have been used by somebody, somehow deceived, then you have to take responsibility for understanding the relationship at the very beginning, the dynamics of the relationship. Who's giving and who's taking? Are you feeling that when you give, that person gives as well? Or do you feel it's conditional? Do you feel like if you don't do X, Y, and Z, that person isn't going to do X, Y, and Z? It should, it's kind of weird because I'm kind of contradicting myself, right? I'm saying, is it equal? Is the relationship equal? And then I'm saying, is it like conditional? Well, I don't think relationships should have these conditions, but when it's lopsided, then you know that something may be off. The Judgment card as a spiritual message is saying that what you put out comes back to you. And some people really do not grasp this very simple truth. They think they can act any old way to somebody, and that person should just be completely respectful to them or completely adoring. And they can treat them like garbage, and that doesn't work either. So understanding that you do create your reality and your future by your current actions. The Justice card in reverse, same, imbalances, unfairness that is holding you back in some relationship or the potential relationship that you have. Maybe you don't understand that you have to have this kind of balance, and you're all too willing as a Cancer to kind of, I was going to say baby that person, because Cancer is a nurturer. So you're like the mother. So even if you are a woman and both of you are in your 40s, you may mother that man and spoil him rotten. And that may be fine as long as he's not completely infantilized, made him into an infant by you, and that you're supporting him financially and you're pampering him and doing his laundry. In other words, he's not doing anything for himself. You're doing everything for him. That's a mother-child relationship. And even mother-child relationships. I wonder how many Cancer mothers kind of do that to their sons and don't say, teach them how to cook, don't teach them how to wash their clothes. And so then these boys grow up and then they want their girlfriends or wives to do it for them. So that's another thing too. But the Ace of Swords is really about seeing things as they are, not in that misty, hazy haze of the past, where you can romanticize things, which Cancer loves to live in, the past. But as they are, and be okay with it, not be scared by it, not be scared of what you see, but being empowered by it. Because if you see something you don't like, then I don't have to deal with that person anymore. I'm free. And that makes you feel like you can move on with your life. And then the Star card, believing in unseen forces. Whether you go to church, whether you do certain rituals, that's totally different. Having a sense of spirituality can simply mean that you don't think that you're just a bag of bones and that life has no meaning. But you really believe that things are, that maybe even your loved ones that have passed are pulling the strings for you and trying to help you from the other side. Could be anything that you believe in that is not from this physical dimension. That heals you, that gives you hope. Okay, Cancer, I hope you enjoyed this, and I wish you all the best in October. Bye.